Network Entertainment.
Day 199. Paano kung di ko siya deserve?
Hi, I'm Joelle. I talk for a living and I'm an overthinker. Life keeps going and the questions keep coming. But I hope you find comfort in the fact na hindi ka mag-isa. Ang dami nating overthinker, no? Sa ups and downs, twists and turns ng buhay, paano kung ituloy lang natin ang paghanap ng kasagutan? Ready? Tara! This is Joelle's podcast. Paano Kung? Powered by the Pod Network.
Hello, overthinker. Kamusta ang puso? We are at episode 199. Wow! What an absolutely insane moment in time. Like, it's crazy na umabot na tayo dito that we've recorded so many episodes. I mean, ano ba? Lampas 2 years na rin naman na natin tong ginagawa. And I have my files and my long list of all the episodes that I've done that reminds me na, oh my God, ang dami ng paano kung na nasagot, which is just so wonderful. So yeah, thanks for being here all these days, all these years, all these days. We're live again on TikTok live, and I've been enjoying doing this, recording mga solo episodes and going live. So I want to say hello to those who are hanging out over here, at the kay Jill, kay Anna and Sheesh, kay Roan, nako, perfect attendance talaga yan. Sino pa ba din dito? Si Uni, Christian, ayan, abangan nyo na lang to paglabas ng episode na to. But it's always so fun, and yeah, I'll keep doing this as long as my time, ganon. Hi to CJ Peng as well, and Juicy, hello. You'll see this when this episode comes out. But yeah, have you ever had this like unshakable feeling na parang ang daming bagay na magbabago? I mean, nothing for sure that it's coming yet. As in, I'm not saying it to tease anything na, abangan nyo to, ganyan. Pero meron lang akong weird na nararamdaman na may paparating. So, we'll see what that is. We'll find out. But let's focus on today. Are we ready for that? Paano kung di ko siya deserve? Today's question is a pretty sad paano kung in a way. Kasi throughout my years of talking about love and lende on this space and also on TikTok, no, naririnig ko na yung stories of people na nagbe-break kasi may isa sa kanila na nagsabi na feel niya, hindi niya deserve yung jowa niya. And in fairness, hindi pa pala ata natin yan napag-usapan dito. So that means we will one day, pero feeling ko ngayon, mas importanteng unahin muna yung side ng tao na feeling niya na hindi niya deserve yung jowa niya. Maliban sa mga nasabihan na. Parang may mga nagsasabi sa akin na, Ate Joelle, sabi kasi niya hindi daw niya ako deserve, eme. So, before we go there, ito na lang muna. Yung mga actually na feel nila na hindi nila deserve. May mga nag-comment nga dito sabi niya, +1 sa feeling niya na hindi niya deserve yung taong to. O, diba? So, here we go. Let's do that. So, these are very real and valid feelings, pero importante din kasing i-breakdown at maintindihan ang sarili natin. So, kung ikaw ito, o di kaya nasabihan na nito at gusto mong mas maintindihan yung thought process, then we're gonna dive right into it. First, Bubbles asks, paano kung you think you don't deserve his love? Hello, Ate Joelle. I'm a recent fan of yours and nasa isang relationship ako. In my case, I personally think that I don't deserve the love he gives me because parang sobra na. Minsan napapatanong na lang ako kung deserve ko ba to and kung nag-give back ko ba yung binibigay niya sa akin. I saw something somewhere and it says, mahal mo yung tao, pero nararamdaman ba niya yon? Tapos parang natamaan ako doon, and I'm still trying my best to show him that I love him back, and I really hope that it's enough. To others naman who don't feel like they don't deserve the love kasi they're treated less, what are your thoughts regarding this? I really need help kasi I'm really, really scared to lose him. Thank you in advance, Ate Joelle. Hi, Bubbles! Alam mo, nakaka-relate ako. When my husband and I actually started dating, I felt like he was doing so many amazing things for me. He would make me feel absolutely seen and loved and cared for, na parang nararamdaman ko na kulang yung binibigay ko na love, parang hindi ko mapantayan. So, the solution that I've found to be really helpful was honestly just being honest about what I was feeling. And I would straight up ask him, Hey babe, have you been feeling less loved? You've been so good to me these past days, months, years. I feel like hindi ko mapantayan yung love na yun. And I just want to make sure that you're feeling love the way you want to be loved. The same way you make me feel so loved. Sobrang run-on ng sentence na yun. And hindi naman na yun yung exact words, but that was basically the idea. And I think the first time na inopen up ko to sa kanya, he actually flipped the question back to me. Not the exact words, syempre, but he also said something like, babe, I feel like I haven't been giving you enough love. Have you been feeling loved? And it's crazy because kung di ko tinanong yun, kung hindi ako nagpaka-vulnerable and if I didn't tell him what I was feeling at that time, if I wasn't honest na parang feeling ko nakukulangan ako sa mga binibigay ko na love, no? Then, never namin malalaman na pareho pala kaming nakakaramdam ng some form of insecurity. So, since then, that particular question, yung have you been feeling loved lately, it has become a habit in our relationship whenever nagiging busy kami or walang time for each other or di kaya parang feel namin that the other partner has been picking up more of the load sa relationship or like, let's say, it just wasn't a great week, a great day. So, ang sungit-sungit-sungit. Yung mga ganon. So, if those things happen, we ask that simple question. Because it's a great, quick way to reconnect, especially if you've been feeling disconnected. It helps to make it part of your habit as a couple to always check in sa isa't isa. Because situations will change and it could be new stressors, it can be pressures outside. So, always helps to come back together. It's always a great opportunity din kasi to see kung nag-a-align kayo ng partner mo. The sooner na mapag-usapan ito, then the sooner din na ma-address. Now, let's say na ang sagot ng jowa mo ay, oo babe, nakukulangan ako sa love na binibigay mo sa akin. This would then give your jowa an opportunity para sabihin sa'yo to let you know. Siyempre, wala kang control sa feelings niya or sa sasabihin niya. So, kung feeling niya na parang less yung binibigay mo, valid yun. But what you can do best is listen to your partner to reflect, maybe offer solutions, adjust, and apply whatever it is na hinihingi niya. Kung more time for dates together or more understanding and awareness. It could also be more help sa bahay, letters or gifts or emotional support kung meron lang silang mahirap na pinagdadaanan ngayon. Like, you may not feel like it's doing much, but just being there, ang laki ng tulong nun. So, dun mo naman malalaman, di ba? And it's also a good time to communicate kung kaya mo bang ibigay yung klase ng love na yon. And then, you can see where you can meet in the middle kung di mo kaya. Parang, kung hingin ng jowa mo na, mag-date tayo every day of the week. Pero syempre, may work ka, may school, and all of those things. So parang, hindi mo magagawa yun, right? So then, you could be like, okay, we can meet XYZ, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever. And then, find the middle ground that works. Now, to answer the last part of your question, kung saan tinanong mo, to others who don't feel like they don't deserve the love na kasi they're treated less, ano masasabi nyo? Siyempre, hindi ko masasagot yung iba. Kung merong mga nandito sa TikTok na nakarelate kayo, then why not, right? But you guys can comment that if you want. Na kung you were in a situation where they weren't giving as much love, let me know how you guys processed it. Comment nyo na lang. Ang masasabi ko lang, you can listen to Day 106, paano kung parang hindi na siya nag-e-effort, or Day 144, paano kung nakukulangan ako sa kanya. Those episodes might help give you some insights. And yeah, comment na rin kayo doon kung meron kayong mga eureka moments. And finally, I also invite you to ask yourself why you feel undeserving of this love. Does it feel too good to be true? Hindi ka sanay natanggapin to? Natatakot ka bang mawala? And well, there's no way to know kung saan mapupunta yung relationship nyo. The best you can do is focus on what's happening right now and figure out how you can grow in love together.
All right. Welcome to the Halo Halo Show. We're on a quest to save Manila traffic from boredom.
Quest? What are you, Frodo?
Shh, I'm trying to tell them about our podcast. On a quest to save Manila traffic from boredom.
Yeah, I'm bored.
Can you do better?
Okay. Welcome to the most awesome podcast in the whole universe.
Maybe not the universe.
Listen to the Halo Halo Show, where we talk about what's trending in the Philippines, among other things.
We talk about our lives, make fun of each other, and we really will save you from boredom.
Yeah, it's our quest! Grab your swords! And your headphones.
Listen to the Halo Halo Show.
Stream it on all your favorite podcast platforms.
Si G naman nagtanong, paano kung I think he deserves better? Hi po Ate Joelle, here's the thing. Masyado na po kasi akong maraming nagagawang kasalanan sa kanya. Stressful pranks, breaking up with him, pagiging moody, selosa, distant, and giving him the silent treatment. I've hurt him multiple times, and I'm really trying to work on myself this time. Nasasad lang ako sa sarili ko na kailangan na siya pa yung makipag-break for me to thoroughly work on myself. Kasi, syempre, natakot ako maiwan and it was really painful. Now that I'm trying to work on myself, nasasaktan ako sa fact na parang hindi na siya nakakapaglaan ng time for me or if meron man, maikli lang. I've raised this issue sa kanya multiple times na and he always has an explanation. I don't want to raise it anymore kasi feel ko nagiging demanding na ako. Pakiramdam ko ngayon is baka kahit ilang chance na yung binigay namin sa relationship namin, baka hindi na talaga mag-work ng tama kasi hindi kami for each other. Maybe he deserves better, yung understanding and hindi clingy or hindi high maintenance. May remedy pa po ba ang situation na to? I really want to work things out po. Hi G, thank you for being here and for sharing this kasi hindi siya madaling ikwento. Hindi siya madaling sabihin at aminin na okay, ako yung nagkamali, ako yung nakasakit. Well, I'm here to remind you that nobody is perfect. We all make mistakes in our relationships and that is normal. Hindi ko sinasabi na okay yung ginawa mo. Okay? Kasi it's very clear na nasaktan mo ang partner mo with the things that you did and what you said. It really does suck and hurts so much na kailangan umabot na sa limits ng isang tao before we realize na, oh shit, I messed up. Oh shit, I need to work on myself. Pero kasi in instances like this, di mo talaga matututunan yung lesson unless it really hits you hard. Pwedeng ayusin, syempre. Kasi habang buhay pa, ay pwede naman talaga tayong magbago. That is the beauty of the human experience and our capacity to change. You can become someone who is understanding, secure within herself, who doesn't rely on others to give her needs. Pero if within the relationship context, kung umayaw na siya, there's not really much that you can do. Kung nakipag-break siya sa'yo, then you can't really ask or demand for his time kasi nga, break na nga kayo. Hindi ko alam kung anong estado nyo right now, so it's best to ask if he's open to giving you and your relationship a chance. And if oo, malalang awareness ang kakailanganin on your end, where beyond the apologies, you have to take accountability. You have to reflect on your actions, get therapy if possible, be hyper-aware of your patterns, your triggers and feelings, and verbalize the thoughts na nakasanayan mo. Kasi kailangan mo siyang i-catch bago mo gawin ulit eh. And most importantly, make different choices na hindi makakasakit sa partner mo. At sa'yo, important din yun. And it can take 5, it can take 100 chances to fix the relationship. It may or may not work. Wala naman talagang paraan para malaman. Pero kung umabot man sa point na ayaw na niya or ayaw mo, then that's it. Hanggang dun lang kayo meant to be. Tinanong mo, paano kung I think he deserves better? And it's natural to think this way because of the things that you both went through together. While yes, he does deserve better treatment where he's trusted, not manipulated, and in a safe space to communicate his feelings, the better, quote-unquote, that he deserves is a choice that is not for you to make. Choice niya yun eh. So, gets ko na you're coming from a good place. Yung thinking na he deserves better kasi pinagmumunihan mo na yung state of your situation and your actions, which is great. But I hope na yung desire mo na magbago, it's not primarily dahil takot ka na mawala siya or so that you become better for him. But sana I hope you're doing this mainly for yourself, for your betterment as a human being. So whether or not he gives your relationship another chance, ituloy mo lang ang pagmuni-muni and answer these questions. The hurtful things that you have done to your partner, like the pranks, manipulation, being jealous, giving the silent treatment, bakit tingin mo ginagawa mo tong mga to? Saan o kanino mo natutunan ito gawin. Looking back on those actions, tingin mo, what were you hoping to achieve, hear, and or maybe receive? I invite you to find an answer for each different action na ginawa mo bilang iba-iba syempre yung motivation na kung bakit natin ginagawa mga bagay. So it helps to understand where that's coming from. Another question, were you aware at that time that you hurt your partner? How much it hurt your partner? Or na-realize mo na lang tong mga to nung binreakan ka niya? If oo, you knew at the time, what seemed to be the priority over his feelings and the repercussions? What felt more heavy? Ano yung mas may bigat kesa yung feelings ng jowa mo pati yung magiging consequences of you hurting your partner? Another question, nung nakita mo na na-reach na yung limit niya at talagang nasaktan siya sa mga ginawa mo, were you more worried about the fact that you hurt someone you care for? Or were you just worried primarily kasi mawawala na siya? Another question. Sabi mo na yung takot na maiwan at yung sakit were what pushed you to making changes. Although those are natural reactions, paano kung naiwan ka nga talaga ng tuluyan? Do you see yourself going back to doing these things again? What kind of partner do you want to be moving forward? What are the triggers or usual things that happen that lead you to resorting to manipulation, the silent treatment, and the like? Because the ultimate remedy is understanding yourself and why you do what you do so that you can make changes. So, whether magkabalikan man kayo o hindi, there is so much opportunity for growth here. Finally, we have a question from Janine. Paano kung he's trying his best to show me he likes me and he cares for me given his situation, but sometimes I feel like he and I deserve better? I've been talking to this guy for quite some time now. His profession requires him to be in different places. He's always so vocal of how much he likes me, and he's been so patient. He tries to understand me even though I don't understand myself, and we're both very open to each other. So, wala kaming mga hindi naayos sa misunderstandings. However, since we started, ako yung mas inaasahan niya with keeping our conversation going kasi repetitive lang yung everyday na ginagawa niya. So most of the time, ako yung nagkikarry ng conversation namin. Pareho kasi kaming taga-react lang sa conversations in both of our own friend groups. So medyo struggle talaga for us na kami yung magkausap. I like him, sobra. And we're also talking about us getting into a relationship as soon as we're both ready. But there are times where I can't help but have this thought na either I think I can do better or he deserves someone who doesn't get those thoughts, or what if we're meant to be together talaga, or what if we're not for each other? Overthinker Janine. That's all, ate. Hi, Janine. I think that it's interesting na ang parehong taga-react sa mga kaibigan ay nagsama because I find it as an invitation to work on different aspects of your role in communication. Kung gusto nyo. Hindi naman kasi porke ay taga-react ka sa mga barkada mo, ay yun na, talagang taga-react ka na lang forever sa lahat ng relationships mo in your life. That doesn't necessarily mean that. So, for me, it can be an invitation to work on maybe being more expressive, to maybe communicating more. You know, that's what's wonderful about this budding relationship. Pero syempre, dapat gustuhin nyo, diba? So, now conversations in relationships, another point that I'd like to put is, it's not just about, kamusta ang araw mo, anong ginawa mo today, kumain ka na ba? Like, yes, it's part of it, but it's not all about it. It can also be about the silly ideas, the mundane thoughts. And kung overthinker ka, edi I'm sure there are a lot of things going on in your head. Based on your story, mukhang feeling mo, mas ikaw yung nag-e-effort to keep the conversation going. Pero sabi mo rin naman that he tries his best to communicate that he likes you and understands many aspects about you that you are also still trying to figure out. So, normal naman to question if tama kayo for each other. Pero the only way to find out the answer is by making a choice. Bilang wala namang preview na, okay, Janine, if you choose A, ito yung mangyayari. If you choose B, ito naman. So, sabi mo, you like him sobra. Bakit? What are the things that you find attractive in him? Ano ba yung mga pinahahalagahan mo in a relationship? Because wala naman talagang like sobrang perfect na tao. Hindi ka naman perfect, di ba? So it's more about finding what is important to you. Kasi merong madaldal or hindi masyado madaldal, tas gusto din naman na hindi rin masyado madaldal. So, ano yung hinahanap mo? And whatever that is, do you think you can create that together? Sinabi mo rin na hindi pa kayo actually together. But you have talked about being in a relationship as soon as you're both ready, quote unquote. But then again, what does quote unquote ready even mean for you? Kasi 'di ba, readiness is a decision, not a feeling. At kung ganun man, ano yung mga kailangang mangyari for you to decide na, okay, game, let's do this, magjowa na tayo. So, balikan mo yung mga values mo, yung mga importanteng bagay para sa inyo in a relationship, and let that lead you to the decision. At tulad ng sinabi ko kanina kay G, whether he deserves better is a decision that he would have to make for himself, hindi ikaw. So, as far as you're concerned, what possibility are you willing to explore? Paano kung hindi ko siya deserve? Reading through these 3 paano kung questions, na-realize ko na ang dami pang ibang scenarios that cover this paano kung di ko siya deserve question. So, although we went pretty deep with these 3 scenarios, I think marami pang pwedeng i-cover. So, if there was a moment in your life na feel mo na hindi ka deserving of the love or being in the relationship that you're in due to whatever the reason is, then you know where to go. Either heylink.me/JoelOwell or the link in my bio sa Instagram. We're at JoelOwell everywhere. At malay nyo, maabutan nyo pag nag-live din ako sa TikTok recording these episodes as well. And as always, I would love to hear your thoughts. Comment naman kayo. Comment naman kayo dyan kung saan yung pinapanood. Whether that's on YouTube or Spotify or on Apple. I heard we're hopping in on Apple Podcast soon. But yeah, tag nyo din ako at JoelOwell. JoelLeohWell. Share with a friend that might need this. I appreciate you all so much and I'll see you in the next episode. But yeah, thanks for being here. Kwentuhan ulit tayo soon. Always remember may kasama ka lagi sa paghanap ng mga sagot sa mga paano kung sa buhay. You are valid, you are growing, and meeting different people, creating all kinds of relationships that would make you question many aspects. But as far as whether you deserve this or not, it would help to remember that we always accept the love we think we deserve. And I'm here to remind you that you always deserve the kind of life and the kind of love you want.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.